In other distraction news, they released the 230,000 pages of the documents related to the unaliving of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And of course, Tulsi, I have never read a history book or actually researched a fact in my life. Gabbard claims that, there's no new information in regards to the surveillance that the U.S. had in, conjunction of this. Now, that could be true on one instance that, maybe there are the instances of them, doing their surveillance and there isn't anything new and there that we all didn't know because we read history books and we talked to people who were there and we listened to those who were there. But of course, this plays up how our school system, has consistently failed all of us, and especially when had us to believe that James Earl Ray did this. But anyways, as Dr. Bernice King has stated, that the files need to be viewed in their historical context because her father was relentlessly targeted, and and we all remember who was leading that campaign, none other than J. Edgar Hoover. Um, but as much as we love Dr. Bernice King every time she shows up on this internet, because baby, she all gas and no brakes, because she does not play about her daddy's legacy as she shouldn't. But she said, go ahead and do them Epstein files. That's what she said. hmm Because why would you not? You're sitting here trying to detract and deflect from all these other things or that what's going on because you do not want someone to look into your own background, so you're thinking, hey, why not release this? Because for what reason? The family didn't ask for this. Now it is amazing that they were able to view this with their attorneys and stuff beforehand, because we know how dirty this administration has played. However, again, we all know what happened. We all have read, the books. We all have, again, listened to the historical context of all these things from people who were actually absolutely present. Now, the family has long since known that, like I said, Ray didn't do this. And what is not being talked about enough is how he tried to withdraw his plea and was not able to do so. And that, her brother actually went and saw this man in prison. Um, and even the incomparable John Lewis said he didn't feel Ray that was the one who did this. But I don't know if y'all remember in 1999 when Lloyd Jowers was the one who owned the bar, and which was on the lower level of the room and house that Ray was staying in, was found liable in this situation. Now he didn't live very long after he was found guilty of this, but again, it was too much evidence. That sounds like a certain situation where people's out here wearing max pads on their ear. Mm-hmm. Because we see how he wants to be just like everybody else. And the thing is, on top of this, of course, they release anything that they could to disparage Dr. King and his family. Baby, we don't care nothing about what y'all consider salacious things. We don't care nothing about that. Mm-mm. We got a whole ass felon in there who has done way worse. Until you can get out here and, effect change and, do better, no. Because at this point, none of us again are worried about what y'all are like, oh, he wasn't. No human is perfect, and we're not excusing any of it. However, it's not the main focal point. So I don't want anybody to get in these comments and be like, well, he was doing. I don't give a shit. Because I know what that man up there is doing. I know what all those other people are doing, as they have removed all of the people in the sex trafficking unit that will absolutely investigate these crimes and things against children. I know about that. I know about all these other documents of these people who are victims and what have you, and we're continuously suppressing them. I know about those. I don't give a damn what that man did in the 60s. I don't care. And the fact again that y'all are releasing this, and for what reason? That lady was 5 years old. Why does she need to relive this trauma? Why does her family need to relive this trauma? And before y'all get in these comments and talk about, oh, well, she was 5, how does she even remember? Baby, I remember my first day of kindergarten. I was 4. It's absolutely possible. Some people do remember things from way back when. And as much trauma and stress and harassment and surveillance and all the things of them having to move differently and do all the things, you think that baby don't remember? She remembers. America's not a real place, and then, as you know, we don't care about education nor history. So, there's that. Fuck it.